and the Bengals, and the Buccaneers,
Ahoy!
and the Chargers. Or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Elle Duncan Show.
A lot of talk right now about Caitlin's frustrations and getting technicals, and if that is, a thing that, we need to be looking out for in the postseason. And again, I repeat, a lot of people didn't watch Caitlin, I think, in college, at least her whole career. That's very much a part of her personality, and she gets so fired up. So no, I'm not concerned about her being fiery. I'm not concerned about any of those things.
You can find the Elle Duncan Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle.
Attention, men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Recently, Joe Strada of Strada Air Conditioning and Heating sat down with Dave Mars, host of the HGTV hit show Fixer to Fabulous, to discuss respecting customers' time by scheduling quickly and easily.
Joe, huge thanks to Strada Heating and Air Conditioning Services for making scheduling jobs so quick and easy.
Our company respects our customers' time, and that's why we have them go to StradaAC.com and schedule their own appointment at a time convenient for them.
It's huge. With our hectic schedules, getting a text confirming when a technician is going to be there, how the progress is going, it's game changing.
We make getting a new high-efficiency Daikin air conditioning system, install their service, easy and convenient.
You ought to call Strada today.
Go to StradaAC.com today. Schedule your own appointment at a time convenient for you. Every customer receives a text message telling you when your technician will arrive, and you can even track their progress to your home. Strada is a proud Daikin air conditioning partner. Visit StradaAC.com. License number CSC 043953.
It's weed, not alcohol. It just relaxes me. I'm a better driver when I'm high. I do it all the time, no problem.
THC reduces your reaction time by half a second, impacting your attention, coordination, and lane tracking. A delay of just half a second can be the difference between life and death. Stay alert, stay alive. Don't drive high.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Transportation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
The Panthers benching quarterback Bryce Young and replacing him with Andy Dalton Sunday against the Raiders. Young, the top overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in 2 starts this season, is 2-16 as the starter in Carolina. There are 2 things that can come from the Panthers QB switch, says ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Bryce Young can benefit from being on the sideline and going through the day-to-day and watching a veteran prepare to play in games and making sure he's understanding how you go about not only the game day, but the week in preparation. And then the other thing is, if his confidence is shot, now you got Carolina in a situation where they have to decide what to do with a guy that they just took first overall 2 years ago.
Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco expected to land on injured reserve with a fibula injury, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. He's undergoing an MRI today. Jets edge rusher Jermaine Johnson confirmed he's out the rest of the season with a torn Achilles. Michigan making a change ahead of the Big Ten opener. Alex Orji replaces Davis Warren at quarterback against USC Saturday.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
I'll Rise and Vote concert series stops through Jacksonville with jazz, gospel, hip-hop, and R&B artists. Activities for the whole family, a wide array of food trucks, and lots of free swag for everyone. There will be passionate speakers igniting Duval residents to register and vote to enact positive change in their communities. Saturday, September 21st from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. at the Lonnie C. Miller Regional Park. This nonpartisan event is sponsored by Transformative Justice Coalition and a host of other nonpartisan organizations.
Consolation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, is excited to return to Timuquana Country Club with a week of entertainment September 30th through October 6th. This PGA Tour Champions event brings a unique approach to golf with our celebrity friends and a focus on live music, local food, and major fun for all. All proceeds benefit Northeast Florida charities through the Jim and Tabitha Furyk Foundation. Youth 17 and under and all military members and their families attend for free. Purchase tickets at ConsolationFurykandFriends.com.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, it was another mixed bag for NFL weekend number 2 for your buddy Aaron. Hey guys, it's Aaron from the Aaron Schachter Show, and you know I've had my nose just stuck in this Underdog Fantasy app. It's so much fun. I've been having a great time picking higher or lower stat projections, and those mini draft rooms are so much fun also. I think it's my favorite so far. I'm sitting here putting up $1, $2, and with the right combos of picks, I'm getting back 5x, 10x in return. Underdog Fantasy is super fun to play, and it's so easy to get started. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code TASS. And what'll happen is Underdog's going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code TASS, The Aaron Schachter Show, to claim your new customer offer of a mystery special plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 18 or over and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome to it. It's another week of the Aaron Schachter Show. My name is Aaron Schachter. Brian Middleton along with me. We'll be with you guys up until 5 p.m. on ESPN 690. I don't know, Brian. I don't want to be one of these guys. Every time the team loses, I got to jump on the radio and scream at everyone for a couple hours. Not really feeling that. Disappointing, sure.
Yeah.
Enraging in some parts, yeah. I'll cop to it. My whole house, me, my wife, my kids, we're all sitting there going, what? But really, 2 days later, you still have the energy? Or you still have that rage energy going?
Me?
Anybody, sure. I don't know, do you? Were you mad on Sunday?
I wasn't mad.
All right, so
that's the thing about it.
Didn't matter to you. I was a little bit upset. A couple of things had me upset, and rightfully so, by the way. Lots of Jags fans very upset. Talk about a letdown. Not just for the Browns game.
Mm-hmm.
Starting the season 0-2.
It's crazy.
It's a tough one, man. Coming off of the collapse. I mean, literally, you could say the collapse to any Jags fan. They know exactly what you're talking about.
They would say, which time?
No, I don't think they would, is my point.
Like, the part at the stadium where they do the little in timeout game, where they have the football under the helmets on the Jumbotron?
Yeah.
That's how they would say if you said, hey, the Jags collapse. You'd be like, which one? 3-card, what do you call it? 3-card Monty? Ain't that what it's called?
3-card Monty is when you have 3 cups, you're shoving the ball under one of them, and you're flopping them around a little bit.
Yeah. Not exactly the same thing. I just wanted to use that example.
Okay, fine.
Which one? But yeah, most people would know. I agree.
I'm not going to pretend like I understand the conversations happening in that locker room. I'm not there. Like, I'm not going to sit here. You had young Chase Bunker walk in here inquisitively looking for a story. He goes, are you going to be one of the many voices demanding Doug Pederson be fired today?
There are voices demanding his firing right now?
Sure. Listen, Brian, a case can be made.
For what?
The case can be made. I get it. I'm with you in a sense that I don't agree with the case. I don't think Doug should be fired. I don't necessarily want him to be fired. I get the people who are upset and saying it because as much as you've been happy that you were looking at 2 winning seasons in a row for the first time in the franchise's history, however long it was, you've also got these like inexcusable valleys along those peaks. You got the collapse. You want to attribute it to injuries? Fine. But, Brian, you were in my doorway not too long ago going, other football teams are able to overcome these kinds of things.
Against the Jags.
And you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Teams do that. Like, sure, Trev hurt himself 4 weeks in a row last year, but we saw the Bengals walk in here with somebody who I don't even know that they're in the NFL this year, in Jake Browning. I'm sure he is, actually. He's a backup quarterback still. But you get my point. You had never heard of the man beforehand. You haven't heard of him afterwards. He came in, looked like an all-pro. We saw multiple backup quarterbacks in here last year putting in work. That's not to put it on Trev either. I'm just sitting here going, teams overcome adversity every year. Different teams, different adversities. And this isn't even so much about injuries for the Jaguars. Some of it is. I mean, you're sitting there looking at your best corner going down with a hamstring issue, but it wasn't really the secondary that was the big problem yesterday. I don't know.
What was the big problem yesterday?
I think there were many medium-sized problems yesterday.
The one that first pops into your head.
How about consistency?
Oh, is that what you're going to say, consistency?
Yes. How about a lack of execution when playing football? If you want to get general and vague about it, you want to get as large as you can get. What was the biggest problem? The biggest problem was when the coaches tell the players to do a thing and the thing doesn't get done.
Hey, which coach is telling the players what to do?
This is another great point, Brian. We brought this up 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I went through the exercise. We were headed to a commercial break, so maybe you missed it, but I went through the exercise with you where we went over literally every team in the NFL. Every team in the NFL. And we looked at teams' play callers. And on every team in the NFL, if you have a defensive-minded head coach, you have an offensive coordinator calling the plays. And literally every team but 2, if you have an offensive-minded head coach, you have an head coach calling the plays. The 2 that were not were the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you look at the Lions and you go, okay, well, maybe these guys trying to do the same thing. And I say, timeout. Because Dan Campbell didn't come into the league as an offensive coordinator. He didn't come in as a quarterback's coach or a wide receiver coach or a passing game coordinator. He came into his coaching tenure after playing tight end as an offensive assistant and a tight ends coach / assistant head coach. He has been on the head coach track the entire time he's been a coaching candidate. Versus Doug. Doug was calling plays for years. Years. Ran into trouble with Press in Philly. They kick rocks. They end up here. And it's the same thing. Doug is literally a man on an island right now as the lone team who is keeping it a secret from the fan base who's calling the plays.
I'm telling you right now, how 99% of Jacksonville, of Duval, is thinking. First half, press was calling the plays. Something happened between halftime, and Doug took even more. I know it's by committee. I understand it's by committee.
Let me guess. Week 1, Doug was calling the plays in the first half, and then it was press in the second half?
I don't know. But I can tell you in game number 2, after what happened in game 1, I'm telling you, 98% of Jacksonville is like, all right, man, okay, we see what this is right here. So you can keep it a secret. You can keep it in that lockbox, secured up at Navy Federal. Do they have lock boxes there? I don't know. I don't have anything expensive enough to put in there.
It's a good question. I've always just assumed lock boxes were at every bank, but
I
don't know.
It's crazy, though, man. The protocol, I used to work at a bank, Aaron, that you had to go through.
Okay.
Oh, man.
2 people with keys turning them at the same time, that kind of stuff?
Huh?
2 people with keys turning them at the same time?
It depends. Well, not quite like that, but it did depend on how many people went in with you and what the protocols were based off of who was going in. It was wild.
Do you need a bank manager in the room when you're looking at your private stuff?
It depended on what level of things, because you're not supposed to know exactly what's in there. Anyway, I'll tell you more on the break because I don't know how legal
this isn't an on-air conversation. Okay.
That's actually, I don't know if I could just share all that stuff.
Oh, all right. You're breaking some rules.
My point is, you keep it hush-hush. I understand that there's no change probably, in the play of the team if Jacksonville faithful know who exactly is calling the plays. But I tell you this much, you at least know where to be frustrated, because when you don't have a play caller, a designated play caller, when you have a play calling by committee, you have none. You got none.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, I do. And I tell you what else, man. Because every head coach can override any play. That's why he's the head coach.
Okay.
So this whole we're doing it by committee thing, you do it by committee anyway, even if you're defensive-minded. If you don't like the play because you're the CEO of that team, well, you're not the CEO of the team, but you get what I'm saying. You're the CEO of the actual team on the field. You can veto at any time.
I believe that. That's true. I bet that's true. But a leader or someone in leadership, if they've delegated to a person on the team a new responsibility, sometimes taking it away can do more damage than allowing them to grow into it. Now, granted, football fans don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Jags fan doesn't want to hear that.
Why don't you?
But if Doug is concerned with Press Taylor and the maturation of his career, then maybe taking away the play calling would do more damage than it would help. Maybe Doug is resigned to that. Go ahead, Brian.
No, you finish your point.
I was just going to say, I feel fairly confident without actually knowing, this is all speculation, that at this point, we don't need to know who's calling the plays.
No.
Because we see what it looks like. And at the end of the season, I will not accept, as an almost Jags fan, but you as a real Jags fan absolutely should not accept anyone pointing a finger at Press Taylor if the offense isn't working the way we want it to by the end of the season, regardless of whether that dude is scripting every play or not. It is on Doug Pederson at this point. On Doug Pederson.
Well,
He was brought here. He is an offensive mind. He was brought here to nurture Trev, grow the offense. And I'm not sure what we're doing now.
2 things. 3, maybe 4. I don't know. You know how I get off on tangents. First thing, I agree with you about leadership, but also as a leader, sometimes you got to be like, hey, you just not ready.
Yeah,
So what I'm going to do now.
Last year. This year, it's too late. You're already in. You're sunk in, both feet. It's done.
And then more importantly, to the point beforehand, or kind of piggyback off of my own point, if he wants to override a play call, he can do so.
He's going to override all of them?
And this goes into some of the other issues that we'll get into either in this hour or the next hour. This whole play calling by committee thing, delay of games, things, they seem disjointed on the field. You got Trevor actually showing what people said was anger. I just thought he was just like kind of through with the issue.
Yeah, I
but
think
maybe
he was just frustrated.
It didn't seem angry to me. He just seemed like
some people, it could be similar frustration and anger.
Frustration.
Whatever. It's a negative feeling. How about that?
There's so many things that didn't have to be this way, even if the Jags were still 0-2. There'd be 3 to 5 less things that I could be frustrated about. Final point before I hand it back off to you. Secondary Jags fan. I know you're an almost Jags fan. I'm a secondary Jags fan.
Look, I was rooting for that team.
I mean, listen, man.
Let me tell you, I had the Jags on the big TV, Jets on the little tablet, and I was rooting for
So you're a secondary Jags fan?
I'm pretty close to calling myself a Jags fan. Perfect timing, too.
Oh, great. One more thing, Aaron.
Bringing the sports depression with me.
Can I get that breaking news sounder, please?
Oh, okay.
Breaking news sounder.
Let's just, there.
Hey, man, I wanted to let everybody know that bandwagon door that I had shut, that me and Tank and Press and Trevor had shut, wide open.
Oh, cool.
Mainly because a lot of people are jumping off.
Lots of room now.
But we have ticket
Very
prices
spacious.
are lowest they're going to be all season.
Listen, if you're looking for a luxurious seat on the Jaguars bandwagon, have I got a seat for you?
Come on in.
Holy cow.
Man.
You had mentioned the not getting the plays in on time. Here's Doug Pederson on losing the timeouts throughout the game.
Doug, one last thing. Could you just talk about the frustration of losing the timeouts in the first half? 2 of them were to avoid delay of game penalties, and I forget what the first one was. But how tough is that? Because you want to hold them in your pocket, hold them to give yourself time in that last drive, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's tough.
Doug, this guy, he did not look happy after that game, man.
That's the only one that I left the reporter in on because it would have been 0.5 seconds of a clip, and I don't know if Wide Open takes that.
Very funny. It's a 19-second question. I think Gene was done at second 18. And then, by the way, if you were watching on video, if you're watching on their YouTube channel, if you go back and watch today, because they still have it up there, literally as he's finishing the syllable in the second word, he's walking off. He's out. I'm done. It's over.
I'm good.
Over.
They said one more. That was your one more?
You know what I would like, Brian? You know how the NFL is always changing the rules up a little bit every year to try and make it more competitive or more exciting.
Okay.
I don't think it should only be on the field. Imagine if you would. We had a situation in post-game press conferences where you have to put 10 or 15 minutes on the clock. And maybe the coach doesn't want to be there. Maybe we had a situation like we had after this game. This press conference, I didn't check the official time it clocked in at, but I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was under 10 minutes. I feel like almost every answer was almost that short. I mean, Doug clearly didn't want to be there. I don't blame him. It was a bad day for the Jaguars. No one wants to be in front of the media at that point. But I like the idea of forcing someone to fill the time, kind of like we do. If we don't prepare for the show, we're sitting here talking about eels and limes in Thailand. We're not talking about.
That felt like a prepared thing.
I did actually prepare that one.
You were very prepared for that.
But you understand what I'm saying? We've got to fill the time. Doug shouldn't be able to just run away. Shouldn't be able to walk off.
But maybe that's the event. Maybe that's the, can you corral the coach to stay up there, or can he get away after answering swiftly? You know
it's
what I mean?
A game, huh? I don't understand. I honestly believe he brought this upon himself when it comes to the second guessing and the questioning on what's happening out there. And I got to be honest, the media is still not really holding his feet to the fire. You heard Brent? Did you hear Brent in the press conference yesterday?
I did.
Brent, he's like the only one with a follow-up, by the way. Even Brent, when he asked Doug a question, kind of gave Doug the answer a little bit. Obviously, he's not happy with how the offense is, but the question was, how stunned was he with the lack of execution on offense over the last 6 quarters? It has been stunning. It has stood out. But if it's stunning to Doug, I would love Doug to say the word stunning instead of what we get, which almost has like a tinge of post-medication to it, like Doug had to take a chill pill before he got out there to talk to the media. This is Brent's question to Doug on the lack of execution over the last 6 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it's not who we are, I mean, these guys, coaches, players, they work too hard during the week, and listen, that's a good defense. It's a really good defense.
I mean, I don't disagree with him. Browns have a good defense. Significant pass rush, great corners. Linebackers are no slouches either. It's tough. It's a tough defense.
One of the best in the league, and if there's a measuring stick, then we didn't measure up very well today, and something we got to look at, and there's too much talent. I think. I mean, there's just There's signs of it, but just not consistent enough.
Doug says too much talent on the roster to play like this. You know what ETN said? ETN said you got to have hard workers, not just talented guys. You wonder if he's talking about somebody specifically. Because when I did feel that way last year about some guys on this roster, we weren't talking that way. They weren't saying those things publicly to the media. This year they are. You got to wonder if ETN is pointing that at somebody specific. 904-362-9901 on the Aaron Schachter Show. Before we go to break, let's hit the phones. Who do we got? Welcome to the Aaron Schachter Show.
What's going on, man?
This is David?
Nah, this is Brian.
Solid take, Brian. I apologize. Solid take. Go ahead. I figured we'd have the Jags rage before we got in on college football.
Well, I mean, we got a little rage too, man. I mean, I don't know what to say, but I tell you what. I'll start with this. I got a friend of mine that's a Eagles fan, and the same thing happened in Philadelphia. Doug wouldn't let go of Taylor. He had him over there in Philadelphia. Same thing happened. I don't understand. I understand loyalties and stuff like that, but if it didn't work somewhere else, don't bring it somewhere else. That's just me. I mean, you can't just blame it. All it has to go on Doug because Doug put this staff together.
Yeah.
The onus has to be on Doug. At the end of the day, forget Taylor and all that. It's on him.
Not just put it together, Brian, but refuses to dismantle it.
Right. And I do believe in Doug. Don't get me wrong. Anytime you win a championship, you win it. But that's that season, and we can't keep looking back at what you did then. We look at what you're doing now. And I mean, for right now, I do believe in him, but something got to give. This is year 3, and if it's not working, it's not working. It is what it is, man. And I appreciate Trevor for saying it sucks. I appreciate ETN for saying what he said. Call it out. Let's do something about it, man.
Yeah, man.
But also, you also got to look. The GM has done a wonderful job. I give him credit. He has done some great things. But one thing about it, if you're going to start over, you truly start over. Simple as that.
Appreciate the call. Solid take with another solid take right there, and I'm with him. Here's the only thing I disagree with him on. It's Doug's prerogative to build the staff he wants to build. If it's a staff that doesn't work, then it's Doug's consequence. And that consequence will eventually come. The question is, will it come at the end of the season? Will it come during the season? Or a few years from now because the boys get it clicking? But you remember, man, back a couple of months ago, Shad Khan said, I have a preference. Doug knows my preference, but I'm going to let him decide what to do with it. It's his team to decide. AKA, it's on your shoulders, bud. It's your fate. If you're putting your job on the line, I'm not going to tell you how to do that.
Right.
But trust, the job should be on the line. You should not be going into this offseason with another disappointing season going, I think Doug's got it under control.
Maybe, Aaron. That one line right there, I got to push back on. I get it. I put you in position as the head coach of this team. So theoretically, if you want to put your job on the line in a particular way, you should have the leeway within reason to do so. Within reason.
Shad addressed the team.
Okay.
Spoke in front of every man on that roster and the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, my expectation is that we win now.
Yeah.
That was 2 losses and 0 wins ago. So I don't think he's talking about over the next 2 years.
A couple of preseason wins, maybe.
I don't think he's like, by the time we're done with renovations, we got to be a winning football team. He's talking this year. You tell me, Brian, why would he address the team? Why would he tell everybody? Why would he be like, my expectation in a way that he's never done before publicly? Why would he do that if this season wasn't the final opportunity to get it right?
It's a good question. I think I was just saying more so that even though you're in a particular role, if someone's above you like the owner, I don't care what your prerogative is. This my team. I know we say this your team because you the head coach. No, this my team, and you calling the plays.
No, I don't
now,
think
if you don't like that, I understand that. If that causes friction, I understand that.
No way.
But that's a wild thing for me to try to negotiate in my head that.
Good luck getting leaders to come to the team when you tell them you're in charge of how they're going to put the team together.
It's not that. We've done it your way. we're still doing it mostly your way.
Well, then
but
if you were
year,
the owner, you would have to fire the head coach and not negotiate who's calling the plays.
It's all or nothing with you. No, there's some compromise here. Yes, you're the head coach. You're making the vast majority of the decisions. Hey, how about we've tried your protege? If the protege is the issue, number one, I still don't know because we don't know who's calling the plays. You call the plays.
I feel like they probably had the conversation. Reality is Doug wouldn't have left Philly like he did if that was something that happened more often.
Oh, people change.
Well,
maybe
it doesn't look like he has
maybe
yet.
he left in. Well, no, but I'm saying, but maybe he has.
Maybe.
And that's why he left Philly. But now here, he might be more receptive to that if that's the issue.
Don't you think if he was more receptive? Don't you think if he was more receptive to it, the change would have happened this offseason when there was an outcry from everybody?
No, because you've said this before. When there's a bunch of people who haven't reached your level, whether they're in your career field or especially if they're just outside and they're just fans or just casuals, and they're telling you something, you're like, what do you know?
Yeah,
and
you
think
want to push
about,
back?
Yeah, people tell you to do something, you're just like, no, I'm going to do it my way. That's human nature a lot of times.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing to throw in here. We talk a lot about Doug. We're talking a lot about Press Taylor. But there was another key piece to the failure that was the Jaguars last season that saw no change when a lot of other pieces did see change. Actually, two pieces. You've got a well-respected, well-liked guy in the locker room who managed the wide receiver room in Chad Hall. And you got a well-liked, well-respected guy in the locker room who manages the offensive line in Phil Rauscher. Offensive line still seems like it's a problem. Granted, the Browns are a good, great defense. You look at the two guys on the offensive line who had the toughest day blocking, at least in the past game, Cam Robinson, Anton Harrison. Why? Because Myles Garrett is down their shirt every play. Switching sides doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He was eating. You weren't going to stop him. You know who had a great day pass blocking? Ezra Cleveland. Weird. The guy we bring in to help run the ball. It's a tough team yesterday. But the offensive line now, 2 weeks in a row, still continues to be a worrisome part of the offense. All right, it was a tough day against the Browns. But for the second week in a row, we are still struggling to see worthwhile production from the majority of the pass catchers. That's not just Trevor. It's not just Press. It's not just Doug. There are lots of reasons why I think that happens. Speaking of the offensive line, here's Doug on if the offensive line is even good enough to execute the way the team needs them to execute.
I feel they are, yes.
Nice answer. You could tell that the press conference was a lot of this.
I feel they are, yes.
Where's the follow-up? Then how come it's not happening, Doug? Instead of how come it's not happening, they moved on to the performance in the first half. Red zone struggles. Offensive struggles in general. Third and short, still an issue. You throw on top of that you got a defense still getting its feet. Tough start to the season. 0-2. There isn't a long history of teams who have made the playoffs after starting 0-2. But there are some. It does happen. It's very schedule dependent. And once the Jags get past this tough part of the opening to the season, they've got an opportunity to stack some wins. Question is, will they be able to? 904-362-9901 is the number here at the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901. Back in a few minutes on ESPN 690 with more from Doug Pederson and Trevor Lawrence.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly to partly cloudy skies. There will be a few isolated showers for your Monday, but it's still not going to be too hot. Daytime highs will be in the low 80s, and it's not going to pour rain everywhere today. Tonight's partly cloudy, just an isolated shower. And then Tuesday, it'll be partly sunny, a little bit warmer, with a few showers and storms. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Gabriel's fashion jewelry sale September 20th through the 22nd, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, is excited to return to Timuquana Country Club with a week of entertainment September 30th through October 6th. This PGA Tour Champions event brings a unique approach to golf with our celebrity friends and a focus on live music, local food, and major fun for all. All proceeds benefit Northeast Florida charities through the Jim and Tabitha Furyk Foundation. Youth 17 and under and all military members and their families attend for free. Purchase tickets at constellationfurykandfriends.com.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, it was another mixed bag for NFL weekend number 2 for your buddy Aaron. Hey, guys, it's Aaron from the Aaron Schachter Show. And, you know, I've had my nose just stuck in this Underdog Fantasy app. It's so much fun. I've been having a great time picking higher or lower stat projections, and those mini draft rooms are so much fun also. I think it's my favorite so far. I'm sitting here putting up $1, $2, and with the right combos of picks, I'm getting back 5x, 10x in return. Underdog Fantasy is super fun to play, and it's so easy to get started. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code TASS. And what will happen is Underdog's going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code TASS, The Aaron Schachter Show, to claim your new customer offer of a mystery special plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 18 or over and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Inc. magazine named DLP Capital as one of the Inc. 5,000 fastest growing private companies for a remarkable 12th consecutive year. DLP Capital is dedicated to building and financing thriving communities. The last 3 years drove 158% growth, earning DLP Capital the distinction of being the 12th fastest growing company in Jacksonville, one of Florida's biggest cities, and 69th among real estate companies. Log on to dlpcapital.com. That's dlpcapital.com to find out how you can invest.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better immediately at Sam's guaranteed best price. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Breathe easy.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
ESPN.com is your home for all things ESPN 690. Find shows, podcasts, Florida State Seminoles football, contests, and more at ESPN690.com. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Talking the Jags' disappointing start to the season, letting you guys sound off. And that continues now as Kilkenny joins the show. Welcome to it, Dan.
How's it going, guys, on this crappy day?
It was last week. It was a better luck next time Monday. I think it's something different today, isn't it? It's a, let me see. I put it up on the title there. What did we call it? It's a, I don't know. Never mind. You tell me, Dan. Go ahead.
I was like, I missed it too, man. I was so depressed I couldn't even read. Yeah. But
it's a here we go again Monday is what it is. I apologize. You there, Dan?
He's knocking that out on Atlantic Boulevard. But anyhow, I know you're a rules guy, as well. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, get officiating out of there. No. The rules are the rules are the rules. So if you're going to break the rules, you need to get busted for breaking the rules. Last year, I know there was a lot of comments and everything about the games taking too long and the whole negotiating of the contracts with the TV and everything. And it really seems like this year they are avoiding a lot of calls, or these refs really need to get their eyes checked. And it's on both sides. It's not just, against the Jags or, I'm not one of those homer guys like that. It's just all in all. And, I mean, my wife only watched maybe 15 actual minutes of the game with me on Sunday, and she seen two face masks that weren't called. And I seen at least four different I'm sorry. There were two face masks that weren't called and two horse collars that weren't called.
I definitely saw both of the horse collars. One was on ETN, I think.
Yeah, one was on ETN and the other one was on Brian Thomas on that 66.
That's right. Yes.
And just call the stinking thing. I mean, it's like the whole conversation with baseball. If you're going to do it wrong, then get called. The old way to get away from that is don't hold, don't face mask. It's not that complicated, But I have defended Trevor. He's young. I mean, and still he's only got 3 years in. I mean, I'm not looking at him to be the end all beat all and everything.
Did you think yesterday was a Trevor problem?
Part of it was because his not having the pocket presence and some of the sacks that he took were partially on him. Now, I mean, Cam Robinson did not block for anything, and it's like when Morris had to do the stunt outside, and Cam was pulling in and was supposed to block his hole. He took 2 steps past 95, and he just went straight up the middle.
Yep.
And Cam just completely whiffed on him, and you seen him turn around and look like, oh God, that was my fault. There were multiple instances of that yesterday, and we know that he has a bum knee. He's always had a bum knee, and he was actually only partial participation last week for practice because of his knee. And you watched him moving yesterday, and he was not moving like somebody who had a good knee. So put somebody else in there, save him for a backup, and then if somebody gets injured, then he can go back in. But if not, then, hey, he gets a week of rest, and maybe his knee's better for the following week. And I know everybody's like, oh, well, we need him because he's our dog on the line and everything else. And when the one scuffle, started to start, he was the first one who was right there getting in between BTJ and whoever the defender was.
That's why they like him so much.
Love that. But if you can't block, go sit down. It's that simple. But
by the way, and I don't necessarily disagree with the point on Cam not looking like Cam yesterday. He was actually the best run blocker on the offensive line, but part of me thinks it's because it was the pass blocking that required him to move more than the actual run blocking did. If you're watching Cam in the game, Cam is just brute force pushing people around in the run game, but when it comes to the pass blocking game, with Myles Garrett in front of him, he's literally got to move 5-10 yards at a snap.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, his mobility, his side-to-side mobility was shot.
Awful.
And his ability to actually get to a spot and stop, because that's a big man. I mean, when you got a huge amount of weight going up above those knees and trying to stop that inertia isn't easy. And those knees are screaming every time that
I bet.
I get it, but what in the world is up with the same issue that we had back during Urban's reign when we had multiple receivers in the same spot on the field at the same time? We got lucky, the one catch with Gabe Davis and
where Gabe Davis almost tackles Brian Thomas Jr. That was an amazing catch, by the way.
Right, that was a beautiful catch, but why in the world were they up against each other?
Yeah.
Or like last weekend when one of the things that drives me absolutely bonkers is if you watch the greats like, Kelsey and Kittle and Sharp and all these other tight ends, that when they are told to go to a spot, which is very common, you have an out and stop. Okay, that's great, but they only take a half a count. They don't do one Mississippi. They get to one and then they go. And if you look at that third down pass that Ingram got nailed on and wasn't able to hold on to, he stood there and he was there for at least a full count.
Waiting a little bit, yeah.
There was a huge open area. There was a big triangle of openness going towards the sideline. There was no one within 10 yards of him there. And the defender is closing in on him because we know, hey, here's the guy that we want to get a ball to on third down. He stopped at the chains. I wonder where the ball's going. So the defender is going to come and annihilate him. No, you take that half count, you turn, you go towards the sideline. That is what the greats do. And I know that's not what he was told to do, but when you watch or you listen to interviews with, Kittle, Kelsey, Sharp, all those, Gronk, every single one of them tells them that they have a relationship with their quarterback, and they know that they're going to get to their spot, they're going to take that half count, and then they're going to find the open space. And it works.
Let me ask you this, Dan. Do you think any of this is affected by the fact that you have two significant role players in the passing offense now, and Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr., who are still learning and getting acclimated to Trevor and this offense? Because I'm sitting here going, last year, Trevor was getting rid of the ball between 2.1 and 2.5 seconds on every snap, and a lot of that was because he was running for his life. He kind of had to. He had no protection up front. But also a lot of it is because that offense is supposed to move with momentum. It really is a West Coast type offense that often will take a deep shot when he believes he can do it. But I'm looking at this going, it feels like Trevor is waiting a little bit longer, and I'm more inclined to believe that's Trevor allowing the play to develop with the new guys than it is Trev being indecisive for the first time in 4 years. I don't get that.
I completely agree. I actually had that exact conversation earlier, yesterday, we had so much horizontal play and so much within 5-6 yard play, and everybody was complaining and everything, that we weren't taking any deep shots, everything was short, and it was just an extension of the run game and everything. But you have to have, they've almost completely eliminated that. You have to have that quick hitter with the crosser or to the out or whatever that is going to be able to have a chance and keep those chains moving, because otherwise the defense is just running downhill right now. But if you do those quick little dunks right over their head, then they're going to stop with the just nonstop running downhill.
Yeah.
They're going to have to respect the fact that you're going to hit the guy for the 5 to 7. And who knows? Maybe he might pick up another 5. He might pick up another 35. You don't know. But we're going to keep the chains moving. And when we were doing that, we were really, really good as far as that goes until the interceptions and everything else goes. But as far as the dink and the dunk, you have that, but we had nothing going downfield at that time. Now we have something downfield, and it's either we're going to run it or we're going to throw it deep. Well, either way, the line knows that all they have to do is just go. It's just straight, just green light, go, go, go. Well, let's get, and unfortunately, Kirk has had, 4 passes to him, and he has 2 catches, and he has 1 yard or something.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem is that Kirk and Evan Ingram in this last game because of injury, and in the first game because of lack of opportunity. Kirk because of lack of opportunity for the last 2 games for whatever reason. I appreciate the call, Dan. I think without those guys being over the middle, being consistent pass catchers on third and medium or whatever we used them most last year, that's why it kind of just looks like it's run play or long pass only, because the only part of the game that's even coming close to connecting right now is Gabe Davis from week 1 and Brian Thomas Jr. from the last 2 weeks, and even that even that is not like it's dominating on the offensive side of the ball. It's just kind of happening a few times. All right, Brian Thomas Jr. has 2 or 3 catches of note this season. It's not like he's sitting here at 10 catches a game. Gabe Davis in the first game didn't have 10 receptions, but he did have a few nice ones. He had some of the biggest separation in the league in week 1. Not so much in week 2. We haven't even really began to talk about the defense as we head to break here at around 3:45. 904-362-9901 on the Aaron Schachter Show. Haven't even begun to talk about the defense. I think it deserves a little bit of a grace period, but let's not pretend like it's not part of the problem here. We'll be back in a couple of minutes on the Aaron Schachter Show.
ESPN 690 is your home for Florida State Seminoles football. Get all the action from the Garnet and Gold on the gridiron.
Florida State opens with a touchdown.
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690 is your home for Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball.
High to right center. It's out of here.
Hear all of the action from the Crustacean Nation.
And Jacksonville's blown this game open.
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
David Ammon here. Are you tired of having your carpets professionally cleaned, only to have them look dingy again? Zero Res can help.
Zero Res uses patented ZR water that cleans beautifully without using any soaps, detergents, or shampoos. That means there's zero residue left behind.
Right now, Zero Res is falling back in time. For September, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129, and we will clean a 4th room for free. That's right, the 4th room is on me.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Well, it was another mixed bag for NFL weekend number 2 for your buddy Aaron. Hey guys, it's Aaron from the Aaron Schachter Show, and you know I've had my nose just stuck in this Underdog Fantasy app. It's so much fun. I've been having a great time picking higher or lower stat projections, and those mini draft rooms are so much fun also. I think it's my favorite so far. I'm sitting here putting up $1, $2, and with the right combos of picks, I'm getting back 5x, 10x in return. Underdog Fantasy is super fun to play, and it's so easy to get started. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code TASS. And what'll happen is Underdog's going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code TASS, The Aaron Schachter Show, to claim your new customer offer of a mystery special plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Meet Zara talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I came to injury care centers because I'm an old football player and some of my old injuries were beginning to catch up with me. I couldn't do what I used to do without having severe pain. I felt the improvements from the biotargeting almost immediately. Injury care centers offering 100% money back guarantee.
Go to biotarget.com to learn more. If you don't feel results, we'll refund the cost. It's our risk-free guarantee.
UNCF salutes HBCUs. Each year, UNCF awards more than 10,000 scholarships and helps 60,000 students build better futures. Go to uncf.org right now to donate. Remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you.
Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Connect with us on Facebook.
What do you mean by that?
Search for @ESPN690Jax and check out the latest sports news, live stream, or show clip.
Now we talking.
ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. It's the Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690. 904-362-9901 is the phone number. Let's hop back to it real quick before we are up against the Sports Center. Solid take with a return engagement. What do you got, man? What did we not get to the first time around?
The first thing I want to talk about, I'm not saying that's fire Doug. Everybody knew those first 4 games was going to be hard. We knew that. I was hoping to go 2-2, to be honest with you.
Still could.
But I still believe we can still get maybe 9-10 victories. I believe it. But if we don't make the playoffs, then yes, I would definitely consider firing him. Yes, I definitely would do that. But I don't want to say, hey, let's just throw in the towel and fire him. I don't think that's not fair yet. It's just 2 games in.
All right.
And besides that, I got as a coach and a former player myself, I have to say our goal line and red zone offense is horrendous. It's like when we get to the goal line or red zone, it's like the playbook just goes out the window. It's like we just limited to like 1 or 2 plays.
It's almost like that's good enough, right? Like we got there. All right, guys, time to hit the sideline.
It's just like the coaching just goes out the window. I don't understand it. And another coaching issue I don't understand is when we play teams just like the Bengals did when they were down, when we were killing them, they went to max protection. They went to 6 offensive linemen. This game, they went to 6 offensive linemen. They had 2 starting tackles out, and sometimes they went to max protection. Why don't we do that? If we cannot block Miles, or we may not have a good 6 offensive linemen, I don't know if that's how they feel, but why don't we make adjustments? If we really want to establish the run game, sometimes go max protection. Like, we're not making adjustments. And this whole length thing when it comes to offensive linemen is overrated. Just get football players, dogs, lunch pail guys, and let's run the freaking ball. That's it.
I'm with you. Look at Brian. There's a reason we call him Solid Take.
He said he wanted to clear something up, but it sounded like he had some more on his chest.
He had some business to handle is what he had to do.
He was like, and hey, you know, to his point, especially the red zone, we can talk about it multiple times, even in yesterday's game. When Trevor ran had that long run for 33 yards, but he didn't quite get to the end zone, I was like, here it goes. I already know what time it's going to be. Something's going to go wrong, and it's going to start with us getting in the gun when we're 5 yards or closer to the end zone.
You thought if he wasn't getting in on that run, it just wasn't going to happen.
I was like, we're going to make this more difficult than it probably has to be.
13,
that's what I thought.
13 trips to the red zone.
Yesterday?
13 trips.
Or all season?
I think this is just yesterday. 13 trips, 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. No, this can't be right, right? 13 trips? Impossible.
Yeah, that's.
I might be reading this wrong.
That sounds a little much.
I watched this game. I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that. I remember a handful of 3 and outs.
No.
Does the red zone start at the 50? I don't know about this one right here, man. But yeah.
Let me see. Red zone plays. I'm seeing 13. Oh, 13, not trips.
I'm 13 plays in the red zone.
Idiot.
All right.
You dummy.
There we go.
Oh, bench me. I'm the worst.
Now keep going, Aaron.
I'm the worst.
Worse at what?
Not worse at red zone. Probably better than the boys. 13 plays in the red zone, 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. It's not great.
You know, Aaron, it's not great. It's not great at all.
I mean, 3 of 9 on third down is actually, I think, better
I think they were 2 of 10.
Then we've seen 3 of 9 as the count that I had.
No, I'm talking last week in Miami.
I'm just talking in general as a percentage above the average of the last 9 games. But still not good. At least the Browns were worse. You want to talk about a team trying to give that game back to us? They tried multiple times. Deshaun Watson was like within an arm's length of the end zone, and then you turn around and it's 3rd and 36. They tried.
Was that the series where there was like 4 penalties in a row? And I was like, hey, man, everybody stop. Both teams take a timeout real quick.
No, I was like, the Jags are going to win. They're going to do it.
It felt very last week in the opposite, way. It felt very like, okay, we started slow now, but we're going to pull this one out. Except it wasn't. It wasn't last week at all, except that we lost.
How much of the 0-2 start do you put on the offense? Give me a percentage.
80. Well, who's calling the plays? Does that count too?
I'm asking you, how much is the offense responsible for?
85%.
85%.
You're not wrong. The defense, they have their moments where, okay, guys, that put us in a hole where you got to be able to stop people. But they allowed basically 16 points last week. And then what was it, 20? Was it 20 points the week before?
Yeah, 17-20, yeah.
Both of those should be good enough for a high-powered offense that we're supposed to have to overcome and score more points than the other team.
85%, though.
Easily. Even when they didn't play their best, you look up and you're just like, hey, they've kept us in this game.
We let Deshaun Watson be almost perfect in that first half.
Well, again, Aaron, there were a lot of short passes there. Granted, the guys were open. Granted, there were some missed tackles, but it wasn't like the BTJ's like 66 yards bombs that he was killing you with.
That he pulled out of the sky. Oof. What a catch that was.
Yeah.
At least there's silver linings, right?
Where?
BTJ is the real deal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'd like to see him catch more than a ball every game.
I think he was targeted once in the first half.
Yeah, I think he had 2 for the game, maybe. Low targets. But again, I wasn't expecting him to get 120 targets this year. I was expecting Christian Kirk to catch at least 6 balls a game. I was expecting Evan Ingram to be out there 5 catches, 6 catches a game.
Brenton Strange said, it's my time. I looked up at one point. I was like, Brenton Strange.
He was getting it done for a second, too.
Like him and Trevor, they got an agreement on the side. God, he's getting targeted a whole lot. He's catching them, though.
We'll be back on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Elevate your live music experience with Daly's Place Blue. Live like a VIP with the best seats in the house, premium parking, your own private entrance, VIP lounge access, guaranteed tickets to sold-out shows, and much more. Coming to Daly's Place is Bush with special guest Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox. Live and Stone Temple Pilots with special guest Soul Asylum, Alanis Morissette, Creed, and so many more. You'll never want to see a show any other way once you go blue. Learn more at dailysplace.com or call 904-633-2000.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay. Let's go!
Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital, CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Bueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is in from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a fibula injury. He'll be put on injured reserve but does plan to return this season. Carolina's benching former number 1 overall pick quarterback Bryce Young and turning to veteran Andy Dalton. Young's 2-16 as the Panthers starter, 0 touchdowns, 3 picks in 2 starts this season for Coach Dave Canales.
A lot of factors that go into it, for this decision, and ultimately it just kind of lands on my shoulders to be able to make the best decision for our group, to give us our best chance to win this week. And we focus on the weeks. We focus on the challenge at hand, and we feel like Andy gives us our best chance to meet the challenge.
Young will back up Dalton Sunday in Vegas. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa won't be placed on IR, at least not until more information is available on his latest concussion. According to Coach Mike McDaniel, Miami is signing QB Tyler Huntley off the Ravens practice squad. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers' abdominal injury questionable Saturday versus Louisiana Monroe. Arch Manning gets the start if Ewers can't go.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions. Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions, repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity, making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Meet Abiana talking about her experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I started doing the BioTarget therapy for plantar fasciitis, and I noticed an improvement immediately. It was almost impossible for me to put my feet down to take a proper step. After the first treatment, I was able to actually walk and do so without limping.
Go to biotarget.com to learn more. If you don't feel results, we'll refund the cost. It's our risk-free guarantee.
I'll Rise and Vote concert series stops through Jacksonville with jazz, gospel, hip-hop, and R&B artists. Activities for the whole family, a wide array of food trucks, and lots of free swag for everyone. There will be passionate speakers igniting Duval residents to register and vote to enact positive change in their communities. Saturday, September 21st from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. at the Lonnie C. Miller Regional Park. This nonpartisan event is sponsored by Transformative Justice Coalition and a host of other nonpartisan organizations.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. I'm Aaron Schachter, Brian Middleton with me. We are on the radio with you until 5 p.m. today. Show note, little housekeeping. No show this Friday. I got the kids at home. I got to watch them. You know how it goes in 2024. Unless you guys want them on the radio, we could do that.
Hey, man. Could be a new bit.
I mean, you got to see my baby daughter, baby girl this weekend. So, she's got enough toot in her that she could run the football team. That'd be all right.
It'd be an interesting segment. She could carry it herself, probably.
And then not only no show Friday, but it's looking more and more like no show Monday. So we'll see. We'll update you as we get through the week. But just so you guys can write it in your scorecards at home, we gave you the heads up. And speaking of heads up, let me give you another heads up.
Oh,
it was about that, by the way.
Okay, go ahead.
I was pivoting.
Yeah, go ahead.
The heads up to the audience is please prepare. Strap in, helmets on, head on a swivel, because we are forced at least once per show, if he chooses to allow King South Beach on the radio to yell at everybody. Welcome to the show, King South Beach.
Aaron, don't let Brian lie to you. He wanted to make a wager on the game yesterday. Don't let him lie that he wasn't upset about the game. He wanted to wager the guess that came on yesterday that Jacksonville was going to win. So don't let him lie to you on the radio.
Okay.
That's right.
Now, what was the wager, Brian?
You're called out, Brian, all right?
That's right.
Was it a money wager, Brian?
No. It was,
no, something about posting something on the internet
is
about
your name Brian
the
now?
game.
No. Gary's right. It was with the Cleveland Browns beat reporter.
Of course I'm right. What do you mean? You think I'm making something up?
No,
yeah.
He's right.
You were confident. You were so confident Jacksonville was going to win.
I was. I told her, hey, listen, man, if Jacksonville wins, she would have to post something on her social media about it. And if Cleveland won, then I would have to post, congrats to Cleveland on my social media.
You conveniently didn't tell Aaron all that. You conveniently didn't tell you all that, Aaron.
And Brian, did you win or did you lose?
No, she didn't take the bet because she was picking the Jags to win.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, well,
so
I'm
then
not
she
picking
would have
Cleveland.
lost as well.
Yeah.
Not working out for her. Gary, go ahead.
I guess Trevor Bank Stadium and the renaming of the stadium, it didn't work out too well, did it?
That's a rough one, too. Poor Trev. He wasn't comfortable renaming the stadium in his honor. And then for him to have a chance to win it at the end of the game twice, once from the end zone where he gets sacked into safety, and then another time as the Jags get the ball back at the very end. Granted, it weren't the best of situations, Gary, but probably not a great day for Trev. He wasn't certainly feeling good.
And not only that, only throwing for a grand total of, 16 yards in the first half?
It was a tough first half, yeah.
But, I just had to call your compadre out because I don't want him lying to you, Aaron, about...
No, that's fair. I really
he
do
was
appreciate
very
it.
upset about the game.
Hold his feet to the fire, because Brian does like to lie all the time. He likes to baby face it
all the time.
Yeah, he likes to.
He lies like a rug.
Yeah, like a rug. He baby faces a lot, but we know what the real deal is, don't we, Gary?
Yeah, we know he was upset because he was... let's do this friendly wager.
Yeah, man.
And then, Gary, I know you got to be excited. Did he explode? Is he gone? Gary's got to be excited. The Dolphins just picked up a former Pro Bowler to play quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I'm real excited.
Yeah, Snoop Huntley. Tyler Huntley. Or as they call him on Barstool, great value Lamar Jackson.
Well, no matter what Mr. Thompson does in the first half, it can't be much worse than 16 yards passing.
You say that, but then Skylar Thompson's going to put in 8 yards, and you're going to feel silly, aren't you, Gary?
No, he won't. He might throw a 50-yarder to Tyreek or Jalen, too.
Yeah, maybe, but also maybe 4 picks and no yards. You really don't know with Skylar Thompson.
You remember a couple of years ago, he nearly beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. But don't forget, guys, he's going to have the first team snap and extra time to prepare.
Oh, cool.
The 10 days off, so
as long as he's got a week to do it, he's going to be.
Although, of course, the 10 days didn't help Baltimore very much, though, did it?
Didn't Josh Allen's elbow explode in that game? Wasn't that the game he needed Tommy John surgery afterwards?
No. He that was the game he got sacked. Remember, he got backed up near his own end zone, and the Dolphins sacked him,
or something like that.
He fumbled the football.
Okay, he turned it over a bunch in that game. That's right. I have a hard time remembering that season.
Times.
That was another Zach Wilson season for the Jets. It's tough for me to remember. Gary, I appreciate you calling in.
I just didn't want your compadre to to slide with his false claims.
Yeah, well, thanks to you, that's now not going to happen. So we do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Gary. Not letting you slide, man. You think you're getting one over on us. It's not going to happen, Brian.
I just appreciate the impersonation. The
Well, look,
voice he did of me. And
Look,
I was
this
like,
is what
okay,
we do
Gary,
on the show. I do voices of him. He does voices of you. Now you got to do voices of me.
I got to give him the credit. I know
Credit.
that didn't sound terrible. That
Credit.
sounds great.
It's
Terrible.
a CV. Got to give him credit.
Got to give him the credit.
The credit. Got to give him the credit, Mikey. He'll work on it. It's okay.
It's fine.
Hey, I heard that we might have had a little bit of a...
An exercise in excellence. It's a Brian Middleton production.
And with that open comes the details.
Overreaction, not an overreaction, Aaron. This is always fun because you normally overreact just on a daily basis. Well done. And so, hey, you've done this before.
Have I? Okay.
We've got some, I think, some pretty dope elements that we're going to use for this particular segment right here.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a statement. Some from the Jags, some from around the NFL. You tell me whether or not it's an overreaction or not an overreaction.
Or a regular reaction.
Yeah.
Or a reaction.
That's the way that it's supposed to be. That sounds about right.
If you say so.
Okay. Let's try it. Okay,
Can't
let's
believe
try
you
this
tried
right
to
here.
lie to us. I'm
For
so
example.
happy Gary called and outed you.
For example, let's try this.
All right.
Taco Bell, elite Mexican food.
Ooh.
Is that an overreaction? Not an
You know
overreaction.
what? I'm going to go ahead and say that you need to calm down. It's a bit of an overreaction there because Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's how that's supposed to work. I got to play the tape, and then I'm going to bring it down.
Got it. So Taco Bell is delicious, but elite Mexican food, I'm not sure that's a thing that Taco Bell is known for.
Yeah, you're a hater, though. I also forgot about that. You're a hater. Taco Bell got you through some rough times up there in New York City. New York City.
Actually. Taco Bell, Cheesy Gordita Crunch, shout out to Nachos Bel Grande. It really fueled me for a good couple of years. That's how I ended up in a situation where I needed to lose 35, 40 pounds.
Are you at 40?
I'm at 36.7 today.
Yo, this dude over here.
I've slowed down.
Melting away. Well,
I've slowed down.
Because, Aaron, there's less to lose. At some point, you got to keep the muscle.
Less to lose, more to love.
You got to keep the bone.
Oh, I kept the bone.
You know what? I walked into that one. You know what? I didn't even pause myself because I walked into that one. The skeletal structure, you want to keep that. Anyway, Aaron, so great job. You know how to play this game.
Buddy.
So let's start with the very first statement. Brian Thomas Jr. is the best offensive player for the Jags, and it's not even close.
Oh, I think you need to calm down a little bit.
Okay, you are wilding right now.
I definitely, You need to calm down because while Brian Thomas Jr. is showing a ton of potential, while Brian Thomas Jr. might be the most exciting offensive member of the Jacksonville Jaguars over the last 2 weeks, it's one catch each game. Like you're not winning games on Brian Thomas Jr. right now.
Uh-huh.
You're not. You need to win the games on Travis Etienne. You need to win the games on Trevor Lawrence. You need Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram helping you out. It's not just the BTJ show. We wish it could be. How amazing it would be if it was. You look at the Giants. The Giants, 10 targets to Malik Neighbors yesterday. 100 yards and a touchdown. You look at the Cardinals. Only 4 passes to Marvin Harrison Jr. in the first half. 130 yards, 2 touchdowns.
So wouldn't someone say that based off of the limited targets, that should prove his point even more? When you do target him, it's electric.
Well, he hasn't only caught his only targets.
Okay, I got you.
He had 4 targets the first week for 2 receptions, and then he caught all his, 4 targets in the first week for 4 receptions against the Dolphins, and then he caught half of them yesterday, with really the one being that 66-yard bomb that he grabbed out of the air. Of course, he had the catch late in the game, but had he not caught that, it seemed like Gabe Davis was also going to catch that ball. So, okay, it's not like Brian Thomas Jr. is pulling us out of the fire. It does seem to have potential, though.
What are we doing? It sounds like you're slamming him, man. What's going on
I'm not
right
slamming
here, man?
him. I'm just saying he's got potential. That's not slamming a guy. But if you look at where he's lining up, they're putting him all over the field. But all we heard in the preseason was the dude needs to learn better route running. From his own coaches, we heard that.
Oh.
We heard he was limited in college, and so he's learning now. So fine, maybe it does develop into that thing, Brian, but I don't think we're there yet.
All right, BTJ slander from Aaron Schachter in the midst of this game. Good for you.
Play that game.
Good
That's
for
fine.
you,
That's
Aaron
fine. Let's
Schachter.
play that
Good
game.
for you. Next up.
Play the game.
Next up. Coach Doug Pederson is not the man for the job. By job, I mean.
I understand what you
Okay.
mean. This is a divisive question. You look everywhere on Twitter. People literally, I just saw someone on Twitter literally changed his bio to fire Doug Pederson. And while I get the anger and all that stuff, at the lack of sounding repetitive, I think everybody needs to calm down.
Hey. Oh.
I think you need to calm down because Doug Pederson is a good coach. He's a good offensive mind. You're 2 games into the season. You got 15 more in front of you. Now, if we're in the same situation, having the same conversations 3 weeks from now, oh boy, do we need to really have this conversation. But this was always going to be the hardest stretch for the Jaguars. Always. These first 4 games. And so you hope to come out of there 3-1, 2-2. Obviously, now it's going to have to be 2-2. But if you come out at 1-3 or 0-4, I think the conversation takes on a little bit different of a tone. Need to calm down. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Look at you, man. Sticking by your man.
We're getting there.
Love to hear right here, Aaron Schachter. Let's see. Let's go one more with the Jags right now.
All right.
Here we go. Aaron Schachter.
Give me a real one here. I'm sitting here telling everyone they're overreacting to everything.
Yeah, here we go. This version of the Jags O-line won't be the same by season's end.
This version won't be this. You mean because
not for injury?
Injury.
Yeah, not because
someone's getting benched, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's going down for real.
You want to go there? I can make the case. I can make the case.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we want to hear.
Look, I think you got 2 opportunities here on this offensive line to improve in the short term. And it doesn't happen with Brandon Sheriff. And it doesn't happen with Ezra Cleveland. And I actually think Mitch Morse gets better as the year goes on, not worse. You worry a little bit about Cam Robinson, the mobility that Kilkenny was talking about on the phone.
Right.
I think everybody sees it. He was outmatched yesterday, and you hope it's because it's a Myles Garrett thing. But it could just be that knee is a little more troublesome than we expected. The guy has had knee issues in the past. He's a big dude. So fine, he could be on the way out because he refuses to get healthy. He refuses to sit. On the other side of the ball, you got Anton Harrison, young pup. I get it. He actually got hurt yesterday too, although I don't think he missed a play. That being said, he was getting manhandled too.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to wonder, okay, in the first year, you're looking at Anton Harrison going, he played pretty good for a rookie who's never played the position. But at this point, we just need him to play pretty good, period. And that's not what we're getting at right tackle right now. First game, pass blocking was pretty good. Run blocking was pretty stinky. This past game, not so much. This past game in the pass blocking, Anton Harrison, 9th on the team. He put in a 42.1. He was actually the 2nd worst pass blocker on the day. That's not what you hope to see from the guy.
No, definitely not. What round did he go?
My point is this. Do you have someone better on the bench? It depends what you consider in Walker Little, but you might not. You may not. But a change may be coming just to make the change. And that's when you know guys like Doug and Press are starting to feel it a little bit on that hot seat.
Okay, Aaron Schachter.
What else you got?
Just we'll step away from the Jags for a second. Let me ask you about this. Surprising, I think most people would say it. This one right here. The Baltimore Ravens were overrated last year, and this 0-2 start proves that.
The Baltimore Ravens were overrated last year.
With the MVP.
And because they've now started 0-2 this year.
Just like the Jags.
It proves,
just
according
like
to this statement, that they are overrated.
I'm just saying, if you toss the Ravens, the Panthers, the Jags in one of those little hats, you shake them around, pull them out, it's still going to be 0-2, no matter.
Brian, you're getting a little carried away.
Just
a
asking.
little carried away. Here's the difference to me between last year's Ravens and this year's Ravens. They lost their defensive coordinator and one of their better linebackers. Those are holes that are not easy to patch up. They've still got a great secondary. They still got a decent pass rush. They still got a guy in Lamar Jackson who can extend plays. They lost to the Raiders. No one saw it coming. But the Ravens weren't going to win every winnable game. They weren't going to go 16-1 after losing week 1 to the Chiefs. So fine. I'm sure they're unhappy about losing. I don't think this is an overrated team. This team, in my opinion, still goes to the playoffs. And I still have them atop the North.
Like a 7 seed, though?
I believe it'll be in the first 4 seeds.
Oh, wow.
Who's beating them in the North? You think Pittsburgh is winning the North?
I'm just saying they're 2-0 right now. It doesn't matter if you think they're a better team. You got to start winning. There's only so many regular season games.
At least the Ravens can score a touchdown.
So much so that they're 0-2. I don't. What do you want me to say?
Okay, if Chris Boswell had never been born, the Steelers would still be playing in week 1.
Okay, Back to the Future. Did his parents disappear on a photo?
Yeah, his hand was disappearing during the game. It's just crazy to me the Steelers win in the North. You're out of your mind.
All right, I hear you, man. I'm just saying. Speaking of division winners, let's go to the next one right here. Aaron Schachter, the AFC South hasn't been decided yet.
It's going down for it.
Buddy, come on. Still
I love
early
the
in the
faith.
game.
I love the faith.
Still early in the game. Did you see the Texans playing the Bears? They didn't look so hot to trot.
But they won the game.
They did. And you know what? Like Herm says, you play to win the game. So I get that part.
Look at you.
I'm not trying to take it away from them. I'm not saying they're not currently 2-0 and leading the AFC South by 2 games.
Ain't that something?
But, buddy, Titans 0-2.
Yeah.
Jaguars 0-2.
Yeah.
Colts 0-2.
Yeah, that's what they do.
You're only 2 games out.
Yeah.
Texans don't have it locked up, and quite frankly, they got the first place schedule, and maybe it hasn't kicked in yet playing the Bears. Maybe it hasn't kicked in yet playing the Colts in week 1, but it is going to.
Okay.
And when it does, it's going to be a little bit turbulent for young CJ Stroud and the boys over in Houston, and that's when you need the Jaguars to really step it up, take control of the division. It is very far from done in the AFC South. You mark my words on that one.
All right, Aaron Schachter, final one right here. Here we go. Oh, great. That was a cool transition.
Oh, there.
A cool ending.
All right, there we go.
Here we go. Let me get a timestamp so I can make sure to pull that for
Maybe
a
we need a preseason is what's happening.
Yeah, here we go. Final one, Aaron Schachter. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets really about to take off after getting their first win with him as their starting QB.
You're asking me.
Really about to take off. They're going to
if it's
string
for
wins
real
together.
or not.
Yeah, man.
If barely winning against the Titans.
The Titans, they play hard.
And what are they going to do in the wake of that?
The Titans?
You said the Jets are going to what?
Man, take off, man. Stringing wins together, putting pressure on both.
Listen, anybody who's ever watched Gangrene should know. Disappointment City.
Okay.
You pay $100 million plus for Aaron Rodgers. You draft his third cousin. You bring over his uncle as a free agent. You get his next door neighbor to be the offensive coordinator. And then what do? I think they're running at like 70% of the plays. He's only throwing to Garrett Wilson in New York and Brees, the running back. Matter of fact, the running backs combined yesterday for 14 catches. 14 catches. I think Garrett Wilson had 5. Mike Williams, I don't even know that he plays offense anymore. I think they have him on special teams. I don't know what Coach Bob is doing over there.
Oh, now you're
but I'm definitely not a fan.
Oh, boy.
Not a fan.
Oh, boy, Aaron Schachter.
This team has third place written all over it. Smelling it from here.
3 teams could probably go from that division if the Patriots keep it up.
Patriots are winning that division. Just crazy. How can the Jets continue to be this bad? They were playing the Titans, Brian.
The Titans have played 2 teams pretty tough so far.
2 teams pretty tough.
Right? But
Listen.
Didn't Levis was on his knees, and with his hands on his head?
Sorry, I know you don't like when I do this. Kill the music for a second.
Kill the music.
Kill the music for a second.
Music kill.
Week 1. Get my hotkeys up. Week 1.
Yeah, that's right.
We saw Will Levis.
Yeah, here we go.
Hands on head.
Let's go.
After throwing an awful pick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one of a few turnovers last week. This week, he does the same nonsense.
Yeah.
Here comes his coach.
I was upset. It was dumb. It was the same exact thing he did last week, and he cost us points in the red zone. And that is what it is. He's a grown up and he knows better. And so, I was really irritated that he cost us 3 points in a game that we probably needed it.
What was his answer to that question?
What was his answer to that?
You'll have to ask him what the answer was. He didn't have an answer in the moment.
No answers.
We tried to come back and rally. I mean, those things happen in football games, good things, bad things.
No.
I'll get mad at him.
No,
stop
all. No,
whatever. It's the way it goes. But yeah,
You've lost me now, but I tell you what, don't you worry about it. We talking freely now? Because you got more control. You can take me out at any time, but we talking freely now?
We are talking freely,
So when I
Coach.
get at this press conference, don't you worry about it. I'm going to say exactly what I feel, as heated as I want to say it. That's a wild work. I'm glad as a person who's in radio or can play these clips back or the media, quote unquote, I love that. Be 100% honest. As the quarterback, as one of the players who probably are frustrated with Will Levis, but if he'll do that to the quarterback, he'll do that to you. He'll do that to you, running back, Tony Pollard. He'll do that to you, Hopkins. Don't you worry about it. Your time is coming. You about to get burned too. Woof. I didn't know that. I missed that part.
Will Levis threw a touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley yesterday.
Coach probably didn't see that, though. Probably had blindfolds on.
I think Coach saw it because I think it was a broken play. I don't think Will did the correct thing. I don't think Calvin Ridley was doing the correct thing. But still, Sauce Gardner on Calvin Ridley all the way down the sideline. According to Next Gen Stats, Calvin Ridley had 0.7 yards of separation as the ball comes in behind Cal, Sauce, and the safety. I think it was Ashton Davis. It's behind all of them.
Yeah.
Calvin turns backwards and just falls down. You remember how every pass last year we'd see him just fall down? That's what he was doing. He was falling down into the end zone, watching the ball come in. Shout out to Calvin because it was extreme concentration.
Yeah.
The ball literally goes through the arms of the safety.
Yeah.
Sauce doesn't even know where the ball is at this point. He thinks it's way behind him. No one's getting to it. Cal catches it somehow. Somehow catches it. The whole team is looking at him like, what just happened? And then there's Calvin Ridley celebrating by himself because the Titans are in such a good place.
I got to go look this up. How did I miss
It's the
highlights?
wildest catch I've ever seen. The Titans are acting like it was some magnificent play, and I'm sitting here going, you've never been so lucky.
You need to calm down.
You've never been so lucky, Will Levis.
You to Taylor Swift.
Will Levis ain't making it to the end of the year. And if he is, it's only so that they can tank for a number one quarterback.
Well, burn it down, man. Get at that presser and start roasting your coach too, man.
The Titans stink. The Colts stink too, by the way. Your boy Anthony Richardson did not look good.
And they still had a chance to win at the very end.
He looked exactly like you expect Anthony Richardson to look. 75 yards, 30 attempts, 10 completions, 2 interceptions. Welcome to the pros, Anthony Richardson. It's the Jags and it's the Texans, and the boys better wake up because it's still within reach.
CJ Stroud, DeMeco Ryans are just looking at the rest of the division like, this trash. Can we move to a new division? Can we,
know what I mean?
like they do in college, can we move to the Pac-10 or something?
They're like, everyone's bringing down our property value. 904-362-9901 is the phone number. Talking Jags today. It's not a better luck next time Monday. It's here we go again Monday on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly to partly cloudy skies, breezy, warm, and humid on this Monday. There will still be a few isolated showers, mainly near the coast this morning, and then near and south of I-10 into this afternoon. Daytime highs will be in the low to mid-80s, so it continues to be not too hot, but keep an eye out for a few showers. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Gabriel's fashion jewelry sale September 20 through the 22nd, only at Beards Diamonds.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Are you looking for ways to entertain your clients, reward employees, and impress potential new prospects with something memorable? Create a live VIP music experience like no other with Daly's Place Blue. Go to dailysplace.com or call 904-633-2000. Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
David Ammon here. Are you tired of having your carpets professionally cleaned only to have them look dingy again? Zero Res can help.
Zero Res uses patented ZR water that cleans beautifully without using any soaps, detergents, or shampoos. That means there's zero residue left behind.
Right now, Zero Res is falling back in time. For September, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129, and we will clean a 4th room for free. That's right, the 4th room is on me.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
If you're feeling undervalued where you bank or lost in the shuffle, it might be time for a change. Community First Credit Union makes changing easy and worth it. We've been helping the people in North Florida live their best lives for over 9 decades, and we're here to help you too. If you open a Community First checking account, we'll give you a $200 bonus, and you don't have to refer anyone to get it. Visit communityfirstfl.org for details. Member NCUA. Bonus requires deposits totaling $1,000 or more and 10 debit transactions within the first 90 days of account opening.
Snyderman, can you move things in your mind?
Nope.
Did you read our minds?
I got nothing. Were you thinking of nothing?
No. So, what makes you a superhero?
I can tell if you should repair or replace your air conditioning system.
If it's time to replace your air conditioning unit, Snyder can help. Get 0% interest if you pay in full within 60 months. Visit SnyderAC.com and get the details in a flash.
Flash? I think you mean Snyderman.
CAC 18133.
The lightest 350 horsepower onboard has just hit the water. Introducing the all-new Yamaha 4.3-liter V6 offshore F350 with advanced features and class-leading power to weight. Every run will be more efficient and exhilarating. The new 4.3-liter V6 offshore F350 from Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, you.
What's good, my boy?
Connect with us on Instagram. Search for @ESPN690Jax and check out the latest sports news. We're ESPN 690.
What?
We are ESPN 690.
As long as we tracking.
Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Feels like Groundhog Day sometimes with this team. Every year we get so excited in the offseason. We buy into the roster. Despite minimal iterations overall, just tweaks here and there. And it's just disappointing. I really hope the boys can turn it around.
Let me ask you this before you get into your next thing. Who would you feel, who's in a worse position as a fan?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just as a team as a whole. The Jacksonville Jaguars 0-2 believe that they're better than 0-2, high aspirations. They think they have most of the pieces in place, including the coaching staff. Or the Carolina Panthers, who are 0-2, and I'm talking about they're getting worse.
Yeah.
From 10 points against the Saints, who blew out the Cowboys, so the Saints are legit, to 3 points against the Chargers. And they just had to bench their number 1 overall pick.
Chargers 2-0 now, aren't they?
Yep.
Okay.
They gave up all that stuff to Chicago 2 seasons ago to get Bryce Young.
I mean,
they're ruining Bryce Young.
All that stuff.
Including the DJ Moore that, Anyway, who's in a worse mindset right now? I'm not talking about overall because I think that'd be Carolina easily.
I don't think there is a human football fan on the planet who thinks there's any hope whatsoever with the Geechee Cats in Carolina.
True.
And I can't imagine how you could enjoy watching the game on Sundays knowing what you got in front of you for the next 15 weeks.
But you prepare for the worst. So you're like, they lost again? Sure.
As a Jet fan, I prepare for the worst, but it's never that bad. Just kidding. One year it was that bad. It was the year we were supposed to get Trevor in New York. And the Jets that up as well. But it's never as bad as it looks at Carolina. Year in and year out, this team, you wonder how they're going to win a game. It's awful over there. And then today they just announced they're benching Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Make sure to put a phone book on that bench. This way you can see the plays on the field. Look, Andy Dalton, the ageless wonder. The Red Baron.
Yeah, first of all, I was like, he's still alive?
And look, he holds a couple of efficiency records, all this other stuff. He still plays well for a backup in the league. He could be a starter. We saw a couple of years ago on the Saints, he stepped in, I think it was for Jameis. They ended up keeping him there.
That's right.
What if Andy Dalton steps on the field and it looks way better?
It would make maybe a little sense, but
would it
not
make
much
sense?
more.
How would you feel as a Geechee Cat fan, as you are, knowing what you gave up for Bryce Young, likely because Tepper made you?
Or his girlfriend.
According to some reports. What would it feel like as a Geechee fan to know, are you convinced Bryce Young isn't going to work out, or do you think there's still hope there?
I don't think it works out if maybe some of the main pieces that don't play but make decisions stay there, including the owner. I think
owner's not leaving.
I think they're ruining Bryce Young.
Okay.
And so outside of a change in the front office, because it isn't just Bryce Young, it's some of the other moves. They angered Brian Burns so much, not just with the losing, but with how they were kind of messing around with him contractually.
They jerked him around with the contract.
That's an issue when you start talking about culture or decision makers. That's that issue that is causing a lot of the issues that you see on the field. So, no, I don't think that Bryce Young is done. I think if he stays in Carolina as is, they're going to ruin his career. He'll be a backup in another season or so. It'll be that kind of deal with him if he stays in Carolina and then, give up his contract and he moves on to somewhere else.
Never had a shot.
No, that's the point.
Reminds me of David Carr when the Texans took him.
Yeah.
David Carr came out of, Hawaii, Oregon, one of those Pac-10 teams back in the day.
Fresno State?
Was it Fresno State? I thought that was Derek Carr.
Oh, I'm
Did I
getting
have those
mixed up.
switched? I think David was Oregon. He might have been
Oregon?
Hawaii. Let's see. He went to school. You're right, Fresno State.
Yeah.
Good job, Brian.
I know. I don't know why I know that, by the way.
Good for you, though.
Yeah.
In any case.
Ever been to Fresno?
No, I've been close.
Okay.
I've never been to Fresno.
All right.
But this dude was just balling in college. He gets to the
was.
pros behind that line of the Texans, and he got
What
sacked
line?
70-something times. How could you ever come back and play football?
Please bench me. Do you hear me? Please.
You literally probably have PTSD. Getting hit that many times. Every time you hear the word hike, you start running or shivering.
You know what it looked like? You ever played the game Tecmo Bowl?
Yeah, sure.
Do you remember if you picked the same player, there was only 4 plays on the screen, and if you were on defense and you picked the same play as the offense, there was nothing the offense can do. It was like 11 guys get to your QB in 0.5 seconds. You would sack them. That's how that was. That's how it looks sometimes in Carolina, but that's how I remember it for David Carr.
Poor Bryce Young. It's just never going to work out for him. Because the second it doesn't work out in Carolina, he's no longer a starter.
Right.
Now you're a backup. Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's still scratching his claw on his way back.
Hey, he might got something going right now.
But you would have said that about the Panthers when he first got there. He started out 3-0.
Oh, then CMC got hurt.
Yeah, McCaffrey went down.
And it's also Carolina, so I was like,
But then he goes to San Francisco. And they're like, this might work out in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But, you know, Brock Purdy's Brock Purdy. Like, this guy can't catch a break, Sam Darnold. He was supposed to be the number 1 pick that year. Baker Mayfield goes number 1. Saquon number 2. Darnold goes number 3 to the Jets. There goes the career. These guys. The whole world in front of them. Especially as quarterbacks. Popular kid in school. Biggest contract. To get to the Carolina Panthers or the Jets, it's almost like you know. It's almost like you know it's over.
I mean, there's a reason more times than not, in my opinion, talking about guys going number 1 overall or very high as QBs. There are reasons why they're going or that teams are picking that high, right? Because the product isn't good enough to get enough wins. Well, how come the team isn't good enough to get enough wins? It's the players, yes, but then it's the coaches. But then who's making the decisions on who's coming in to be on the coaching staff and who's the head coach? It's the people in the organization, in the front office, in the building, the owner. So, like, you could really have some really bad issues there, and that can cause a ceiling way lower than what you would expect for a guy going number 1, number 2, or one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks, you know, going really high, going to a bad team.
I wanted to play this Travis Etienne cut for you, but I'm a little bit nervous now. There might be a bad word in here.
Oh, I got the dumb button.
Be on guard.
All right.
57 seconds. We were talking about Doug earlier, his press conference after the game. He says, too many talented guys in this roster for this to be happening like this. You got a lot of talented guys in that locker room. And so the reporters got to Etienne, one of my nemesis, got to Etienne, and they asked him about the comment. Here was Etienne in reference to Doug's comment.
Most definitely, but as you see, talent doesn't win games in this league. You can be talented however you want. It's all about execution. And you don't have to be talented to execute. And that's what we have to focus on, just the execution and just, like I say, matriculating the ball downfield.
By the way, I don't think that's a thing, using matriculate in that way.
That was going to be, do I need to dump that? Number 1? No, number 2. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. I did earlier when I saw this clip, I looked up the definition. I was like, maybe it's like the 3rd or 4th definition of the word, and I'm just not aware. Maybe it's like a good No, I think it just sounds like it belongs there. But matriculating, I don't think can be used in this manner. Just saying. We're not just missing on the field. We're missing off the field, too.
Laying the ball downfield. Let's not try to get that 30-yard play every damn time. You know, just get that 5 yards, get that 3 yards. Just move the chains. Keep moving the chains. Kind of wear the defense down. Like I want to say the first quarter, we probably had 9 plays. You see the Browns, they just matriculated the ball downfield, kept it all.
I'm not sure that they matriculated the ball down the field, but I understand what Etienne is saying.
No, I don't. Tell me, what does he mean instead of matriculate?
He's saying the Browns moved the ball down the field. The Jags had like 9 plays in the whole first quarter or first half, whatever it was, and the Browns seemed to be moving the ball, is what he's saying. Yeah, he's using matriculate instead of move.
Offense off the field, got our defense a little tired, you know, and I feel like that's the way we got to play. We got to find ways to stay on the field for our defense to help them out.
Yeah, you got to help out the defense by matriculating the ball downfield. There are a lot of high talented guys, but according to Etienne, we need hard workers, not talented guys. Hard workers win in the NFL. Talented guys, not always. Not always. I don't know, man. At the same time, it seems like a mess, and it seems like they could push past it. I'm not there yet. I'm not giving up.
But now you give me a percentage. Are you leaning more towards, I mean, both can be true at the same time. Both are true at the same time, I think, in most people's heads. But if you had to lean towards, you know what, they're going to push through this and make it a season where you're just like, it's more than 9 wins. Or, you know what, they may muddle around and get 6, 7, wins. And
I'm biased. I can't answer it honestly right now.
Okay.
It's too early.
All right.
I don't want it to be over 2 weeks into the season.
All right.
That's just what it is. I've had this feeling before with my Jets. Literally last year on snap 5. It's like I don't want it to be over. I don't want to believe the truth. And I don't know if it's the truth with the Jaguars yet, but they're certainly showing us some, aren't they? Like, it is hard to have faith in this team after what you watched after the last 2 weeks, after what you watched over the last 11 weeks of football season. It's hard to believe. I want to. You don't want it to be over. We just spent all off season licking our chops, getting excited. Don't want it to be over. Defense has to come to play too. I understand Ryan Nielsen's new. I understand lots of guys on that defense, players and coaches are new. The scheme is new. I understand we're down Tyson Campbell. You've got the best linebacking core in the league.
Yeah, they gave up 16 points. And I know people will say, well, Mari Cooper, he dropped a pass that
right in his hands.
Probably, he shakes the window or he beats him to the end zone.
I mean, he's not a burner down the field, so I don't know, but it was in his hands.
He drops that. Fine. Well, he dropped it.
Not only did he drop it, but he has so few opportunities to have an accurate Deshaun Watson pass in his hands, it must have been shocked when it arrived there.
He's like, wait a minute.
What am I supposed to do with this thing?
Hold on. Okay? But,
He's like, wait, am I out of bounds? Because this ball is at my hands.
For all of the deficiencies that people may point out about the defense, you look up, they gave up 16 points.
Yeah.
If I'm the defense, I'd be like, what's the girl that said, how dare you? I've heard it so many times in memes now, but she's like, how dare you? I don't
even know who you're talking about.
I don't know, but that's how, if I was a Jags defender right now, or I am a defender of the Jags, if I was playing defense for the Jags, I'd be like, how dare y'all? The offense is 0-2. I don't know what our record is, but the offense is 0-2 right now because we played well enough in both games, regardless of the Tyreek Hill, big play, regardless of the 16-play drive in the first half. We played well enough to have us in both of these games, and our offense isn't coming through right now.
Jaguars defense gave up a field goal. That's the entirety of what they gave up in the second half. A field goal. So you're not wrong. Eric Armstead being worked back into the game. They're not necessarily saying a pitch count or what the pitch count is, but obviously he's not out there for everything. Brian, let me ask you this, a little trivia. Not that I would expect you to know off the top of your head. You had 4 guys playing defensive tackle this past week, sharing snaps. Mason Smith inactive. 5 guys. Roy Robertson Harris, Odomeyu, Devon Hamilton, Ledbetter, and Eric Armstead. 5 guys. Tell me who the snap leader was.
Ledbetter.
Ledbetter played 50% of the snaps. All right? That's good for second.
Oh. I know it's not Armstead the way you just introed that.
Armstead played 47% of the snaps. Good for third. Third most snaps in that defensive tackle share. We were told Eric Armstead would be ready for the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I understand there might be a difference in what you consider ready or not. But when Armstead is out there, I'm seeing guys hold him, penalties getting called. I'm seeing double teams on him. He causes problems.
Yeah.
So if he's not ready, he's not ready. And what was all this nonsense about him being ready to go week 1?
Well, I mean,
You suited him up and you threw him out on the field for 20 snaps? That's ready to go?
Are you talking about last week?
And then this week.
Well, you said 47. I mean, that's
47% is like 30 snaps out of 60 something.
I'm sorry. I heard 47. I thought 47 snaps. I was like, I mean, the man may want some Gatorade every now and then. He may, but okay.
No, and I get they're doing a snap share. I get they're doing a rotation, but I want to say there was like 66 defensive plays. How many snaps were there on the defense? There were 72 defensive snaps.
Okay.
Antonio Johnson played every single one of them. Andre Sisco played damn near every single one of them. Buster Brown, up and down game, had some really shining spots, had some really big letdown moments. They threw at that dude all day. I thought he did a decent job out there. 69 snaps, almost every one of them. Ronald Darby, 60 snaps. Aluakin, 59. Jarian, 57. Trayvon up there at 55. Josh Hines-Allen at 53. And then you get to some of this snap share. We got to see more Eric Armstead. Hopefully we get to see that this week. The more he's out there, the better we do.
Yeah, agreed.
Josh Hines-Allen with a good game despite it not really showing up in the box score with sacks. He did have a sack.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Trayvon Walker was okay. Not as good as week 1. But again, you're talking about one of the better offensive lines in the league. I thought he did okay. He didn't have a 5-sack week like Hutch did. That's going to be a tough one for him to get away from. But make no mistake, guys, Devin Lloyd, Foye Oluokun, best linebacking group in the league. Right now, according to PFF, Devin Lloyd's the second or third best linebacker in the entire NFL.
Yeah, boy.
Foye Oluokun's number 9 or 10. Those guys putting in work. Oluokun's sack, whew, that's a nice one.
At a big moment, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what you hope to see from Ryan Nielsen moving forward. A lot of that switching up, sending guys different times, different speeds, different angles. Not this 40% Eric Armstead snap share. All right, we'll see you tomorrow on the Aaron Schachter Show. Back again at 3 p.m. Go out and have a great night.
Touch a Truck is back. Gather the family and join ESPN 690 at the Brooks Family YMCA, Saturday, September 28th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll have all kinds of unique vehicles for kids to explore. There will be a horn-free hour from 8 to 9 for those sensitive to sound, thanks to Arlington Toyota. Get your free tickets now at ESPN690.com. Bring school supplies to donate. A special thanks to our sponsors, Arlington Toyota, Forever Vets, and Sporting Club Jacksonville.
Elevate your live music experience with Daly's Place Blue. Live like a VIP with the best seats in the house, premium parking, your own private entrance, VIP lounge access, guaranteed tickets to sold-out shows, and much more. Coming to Daly's Place is Bush with special guest Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox. Live and Stone Temple Pilots with special guest Soul Asylum, Alanis Morissette, Creed, and so many more. You'll never want to see a show any other way once you go blue. Learn more at dailysplace.com or call 904-633-2000.
Koala Insulation.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Did you know that according to the Department of Energy, heating and cooling account for almost half of the home's energy use and expense? We started our insulation business because we wanted to help people save money on those energy bills and live a healthier life.
Schedule a free evaluation today at koalainsulation.com.
Koala Insulation. Clean, knowledgeable, and trusted.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Florida License D056341.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch every game, every Sunday, all in one place. Which means you can watch the Dolphins, and the Broncos, and the Lions, and the Cowboys, and the Jets.